"Get on the ground!" The command split the morning air, sharp and violent. His children screamed, his wife froze. Two officers circled, hands hovering near weapons, eyes locked on one man. To them, he was nothing but a threat. Too big, too black, too suspicious. But what they didn't know was that the man they cornered wasn't just any father on a morning walk. He was trained for moments like this, built for storms like these. This is the story of a family targeted until the truth exploded. Comment your city below. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. It was a quiet morning, the kind of silence that comes only at dawn before the city shakes itself awake. Marcus Johnson, a broad-shouldered man with kind eyes and a presence that filled every space, led his family on their daily walk. His wife carried a thermos of tea, while their two children skipped ahead, chasing the dew that glistened on the grass. For the world, Marcus was just another overweight black man with his family. But beneath that calm exterior lived a history no one around him knew. The streets were still, birds tracing soft arcs through the sky, and the only sound was the rhythm of their steps. Marcus had chosen this route for its peace, away from traffic, away from noise. He wanted his children to grow up remembering mornings like this, safe, ordinary, unremarkable. That was his dream. Yet, the weight of being a black father in America was never far from his mind. He knew how quickly ordinary moments could shatter, how fast peace could turn into panic. But today, he pushed those thoughts aside, focusing on the warmth of his wife's hand and the sound of his kids' laughter. What Marcus didn't see was the patrol car slowing at the corner. The officers inside watched intently, their eyes narrowing as if searching for something wrong in the simplicity of this family walk. To them, Marcus wasn't a father, wasn't a husband. He was a large black man in the wrong place, at the wrong time. And as the car rolled to a stop, Marcus felt the first twinge of unease, a whisper in his gut that told him the morning was about to change. The flashing lights broke the calm, painting the street in urgent reds and blues. Marcus turned, shielding his children instinctively, while his wife's face drained of color. Two officers stepped out, their hands already resting on their belts. "Stay right where you are," one barked. Marcus froze, heart pounding. He had been here before, not this exact moment, but this fear. He knew the script: suspicious glances, shouted commands, the assumption of guilt. His children clung to his side, confused and trembling, their laughter replaced with silence. The officers circled like predators, their suspicion thick in the air. "We got a call about a suspicious group," one muttered, though no one else was on the street. Their eyes locked on Marcus, scanning his size, his skin, his presence. He raised his hands slowly, every movement deliberate. Years of discipline taught him how to control his breath, his pulse. But inside, he was raging. This wasn't just about him. It was about the fear he saw in his kids' eyes. One officer moved closer, hand near his holster. The other demanded ID, ignoring the trembling children and the woman clutching her husband's arm. Marcus's wife tried to speak, but the words caught in her throat. She had seen too many stories like this, stories that ended in tragedy, every second stretched. The officers whispered into radios, tightening the circle. They weren't de-escalating. They were provoking, pushing the family into fear. Marcus could feel it building, the way they wanted him to slip, to give them a reason. He thought about revealing the truth, who he really was, what he had done for this country, the missions he had led. But the thought twisted his stomach. To these men, none of it would matter. Not his medals, not his years of service. To them, he was just a fat black man they had already judged. The air was electric now. One officer's hand twitched near his weapon. A command was barked, "On the ground now!" Marcus's children screamed. His wife clutched them tight. And Marcus stood still, the weight of choice pressing on him. To kneel in humiliation or to stand, risking everything, the moment was spiraling. And there was no turning back. The officer lunged forward, shoving Marcus hard. He staggered but didn't fall. His wife cried out, his children wailed. And in that instant, Marcus made a choice, not of defiance, but of survival. His hands moved faster than the officers could register. With controlled precision, He disarmed the nearest cop in a single motion, flipping the weapon safely into the grass. Gasps erupted. The second officer froze, stunned by the fluidity, the mastery of the move. This wasn't the clumsy reaction of a panicked man. This was training. Deadly, exact training. Delta Force, Marcus thought, though the words never left his lips. Years of missions in hostile lands, years of protecting his nation, yet here he was, protecting his family from the very people sworn to protect. Phones appeared. Neighbors leaned from windows. The spectacle grew, but Marcus wasn't performing. He was defending. His children stared wide-eyed, realizing their father was not just strong, he was something far greater. The officers scrambled, calling for backup, but their voices cracked with panic. They had cornered a man they thought powerless, only to discover he was a storm they couldn't contain. Yet Marcus didn't strike back. He didn't harm them. He simply stood, calm but unshaken, shielding his family behind him. His silence spoke louder than rage. He could have destroyed them, but he chose control. Sirens wailed in the distance, reinforcements racing closer. But the truth was already exposed. The world watching knew this wasn't a thug resisting arrest. This was a father, a protector, a commander, and the cops who had targeted him now trembled, realizing too late the enormity of their mistake. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. When backup arrived, the scene was chaos. The first officers tried to twist the story, but the crowd's phones told the truth. The video spread, igniting outrage. A decorated Delta Force commander, harassed and humiliated while simply walking with his family. Marcus refused interviews at first. He wanted peace, not headlines. But his children's questions broke him. "Why, Dad? Why did they treat us like that?" His silence was heavy, but their eyes demanded answers. So he spoke, not for fame, but for justice. He revealed his service record, his sacrifices, the missions no one would ever know. He showed that beneath the uniform, beneath the weight he carried, he was a father who loved morning walks, a husband who wanted safety, a man who deserved dignity. The video became more than viral. It became a symbol. People debated, argued, marched. But for Marcus, the lesson was personal. If even he, a man who had risked his life for freedom, wasn't safe from suspicion, then no black man was. And so, his story didn't end with fear. It began with change. The question lingered, heavy and unanswerable. How many more heroes will be hidden beneath stereotypes before the world learns to see them for who they truly are? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.